What you're seeing here is the setup of how I'm going to repair the crack that has developed on the wrist of this G41. The problem that confronted me here was that I want to be able to operate this rifle, I want to be able to shoot it, and that crack is going to get worse. As a matter of fact, when I was taking the paint off of this stock and putting some oil on it just to get it started and ready, I noticed that this whole wing of the stock would come and was just loosey-goosey. This was just a problem that was going to get worse. So how am I going to fix it? You're seeing a lot going on here, and I'm going to walk you through it. This is a 1/4 inch dowel of walnut. And what I did was I had to chisel out a little bit of the interior stock so that I could get a drill bit in there to drill down the length of that crack. I wasn't able to go the whole length because of just the angles I'm working with, but I was able to get a good inch or so of this dowel run down that crack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this whole dowel in with Acraglass until the Acraglass squeezes out all along the crack, and behind here it's going to be glorious. I'm going to let that set just like this. Then I'm going to come in, trim off this dowel. I'm also going to Acraglass in up here, so this channel I chiseled to be able to get access will get filled up with this dowel and Acraglass. It's all going to be under the wood line, so who cares? And it's going to be a repaired stock anyways, so this is not a problem to me. Functionally, it needs to be functional, or otherwise it's just going to be a wall hanger. Our patron saint of Acraglass, Mark Novick over at Anvil Gunsmithing, teaches us that black Acraglass with their special dye just blends into wood grain. And I'm going to need it because there will be some Acraglass squeezing out of that crack. All right, here it is. This was interesting. I had to adjust my jaws and the custom clamps I made to be able to get pressure down on the very bottom of the crack. So that was pressured, and you can see the squeeze out that's happening there. As you can see, there's complete squeeze out down there. I didn't get the squeeze out on top, which was unfortunate, but I was able to get all that Acraglass schmoot in there to fill in where I chiseled, and this comes out, so it'll be wood. But I'm pretty happy with this repair. Now I'm going to let it sit for about 9 hours, and we'll come back and see how it's doing. Well, this is what it looks like after the Acraglass is cured, and I've done most of the cleanup. There's no more crack. That black Acraglass just disappeared into the grain of the wood. And I've gone in and hogged out most of the extra wood and Acraglass that was inside, and I gave it a rough single pass with some red stain, and it's done just wonders for disappearing into the stock. You'll never know it was there. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to stain it a little bit more and do a little bit more work, but that is how you repair a crack in the wrist of a G41.
Several months later.
It has been maybe a month since I did the crack repair on the wrist of this G41. The repair has held up really well. You can just see there the line of Acraglass, but as soon as you pull back, you know, it's really difficult to see there ever was a crack in this thing. But I've been seeing more and more G41s that have that same exact crack to varying levels of severity that this one had. And I'm trying to think, what can I do to keep this from happening again? This rifle's not going to be a beautiful, untouched, all-matching, super collectible example of a G41. And I plan on making it a shooter. I plan on it being a very high-end shooter rifle. But how do I keep that from splitting again? I ran that piece of dowel down the middle of it. I got complete squeeze out with the Acraglass. The repair is really good, but I have decided to glass bed that area of the stock, because that right there is the recoil. The entire recoil of the rifle really impinges right there and causes a lot of stress cracks on these rifles. It seems to be just an inherent design flaw, or just when these rifles get old. I don't think these rifles are ever meant to last this long and shoot this long, but this one's in my care, and I'm gonna glass bed the back of the action there. So what I've done is I've chalked my stock up in the vise. I have my action here, and it'll just drop down like so into the stock, and I'm going to coat the back of this receiver with mold release, which I have a lot of, just this back portion, and this whole action can just bed in there. This is the morning after. The acroglass has set, and I'm not sure if this is how it's supposed to look when you glass bed a rifle before cleaning it up, but what happened was we got a really positive contact back there on the seat of the receiver, and I'm hoping that that will distribute the recoil load more evenly through the center line of the wrist rather than cracking off to the side. I'm going to clean this up and then see how it looks.